Okay, so this is a group-wide review of our kill on the Zuff. Let's get into that. So this.
What he means is it's watching a video while they do 250 wipes, trying to figure out basic tactics.
Oh, let me just turn this
Oh,
up for a
no.
second so you can hear the terrible joke at the start.
You said there were two bugs, Light. Was the other
I
one
don't really
picking up
understand
Bale
this
Kara?
joke, and the humour
Oh no.
as part of
That's
the
what? I wasn't even in on
as
Kara.
part of this
It's a
is
joke,
something that
bitch!
really confused me.
Hey, yo.
But I think it's really important to point out that it doesn't matter who you raid with because you don't have to get on with them. You just have to tolerate them.
And
That's
by
just
that
very
he means
important.
Rice. Rice Krispies is who he's talking about. That's what...
Rice has gone, Mike.
Sorry, I'll shut up.
I'll carry on for the countdown. Oh yeah, we should have known it was a joke because it got really loud.
We know you're talking about Rice, though, right?
Yeah, of course. Loud jokes are funny as well. I'll turn this down so we don't have to listen to our bullshit.
Loud jokes are funny.
So
And
the,
it's the classic.
so the first thing I do here is I drop my statue so that I can use it later, and then I come to this interrupt and miss it so that Ronnie gets it for me.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I do on this is fell rush over to the correct side because I go to the wrong side, and then focus target macro interrupt Foo's interrupt.
Oh wait, I actually got this interrupt. That's really
I
impressive.
mean, maybe that's why we killed the boss.
Because I actually got my interrupts for once. So this weak aura right in the middle of my screen, I made that so that everyone could use it so that it was right in their face so that they would spread out for the paranoias. Because basically, we had this issue that when we had to spread out for paranoias, no one knew it was coming even though it was a boss mod timer. So I thought, right, I'll make this weak aura, which is the boss mod timer. It's got exactly the same timer as my weak aura here. And still people fucked it up. So after 250 wipes, you can see that it actually went much better.
I mean, personally, my favourite was that I had 3 similar ones, and I only paid attention to yours.
And if I turn it up here, you'll hear everyone moaning about Hellhounds. Specifically.
Hell, I end up moving less than Zulash.
No, man, it's all about the trust I have in you.
So basically, Hellhound doesn't move for anyone unless it's Thay. Because if it's Thay, then he knows Thay's actually got a job to do, which is to heal the raid. If it's not Thay, Hellhound doesn't give a fuck. At all.
I think it's like part of your entry
Trust.
exam into becoming a Malaka.
Yeah. If you're a Malaka, fuck the
So
raid,
you can
fuck
keep
the
in this-
DPS. That's
this
what we want. We
relationship.
want big dick damage. So actually, after about 200 attempts, I stopped having to use my my cooldown on that bit. Normally, I would always use a cooldown on the smash, but we killed this boss a lot later than we wanted to, so we actually had enough damage to get it done in time.
Which is great because the Murdoch video, he's like, yeah, after maybe, I don't know, like 30 attempts, your healers will just know how to heal you at this point.
Yeah.
But it took us
Yeah,
us several times more.
This is actually the second night that I don't have 4 cooldowns to use, and that's only because Zeno asked me to. And part of the reason why I don't need 4 cooldowns is because we've got so much DPS now, with all the extra corruptions that we managed to get, is that I just stay alive anyway. I actually only needed a cooldown for 2 of them out of the 4. But it's 5 I think actually, but we managed to get 3 of them to be done. So here, my statue's actually doing all the work so that we don't have to, and that's why we're just spam healing. I mean, even I'm healing it. Like, we're just doing as much as we can to keep that statue alive because it's carrying the game for us right now.
This was my least favourite part of this fight entirely, was trying to find somewhere to stand to get this interrupt, whilst not losing sanity.
I didn't enjoy this part because every time I would do my stun, someone else would do theirs immediately, and then it'd have DR, and then someone else would go, oh no, my stun's, they're immune to my stun now. And if we'd have just kept the rotation that we had, then it might have been fine. But I mean,
Not gonna lie, on several pull attempts I was like, fuck, I need I-beam, so then I stunned them to get soul shards or soul fragments. Definitely did that.
well, sometimes
But
I would move away from their dying bodies so that I didn't fucking lose sanity, and then I'd get a typhoon on top of me, and it was just a shit show.
This was a really fun moment because I just don't get to use my cooldowns on the boss, like, ever. So there's this really fun moment where everyone comes out and just blasts, and I'm just like, hey, just used eye beam. Guess I'll.
We did do big damage here though. 85. Like you only need to get it to 88. And we got it to 85. It's like weak aura
I
again.
mean,
Till the
it
next
only
spread.
took me 300 attempts, right? I mean,
Nearly 300. I mean, 250. I think 240 is what we killed it in. It's not too bad.
I was going to say, did we have as many attempts as our world rank in the end?
Yeah, one for each world rank.
That's what it felt like.
So this bit took us fucking ages to sort out. Like, it was honestly about 50 pulls, because for some reason we'd always get to this bit and everyone would just forget how they did the first bit, because this is a repeat of what we've just done. And honestly, no idea what the fuck is going on, but it was like we were playing it like we'd never seen it before. But it is just the same thing over again for us. We kill 2 tentacles, we pop cooldowns when we need to, we blast the tentacle of the team that's about to go down, and then we go down. But you know, it took us 50 attempts to learn that.
My favourite phase.
The
By which I mean not my favourite phase.
the opposite of favourite. This
This
one,
is where I'd save my big fucking meta, and I waste my first meta in this entire fucking boss, just so I had it up for in here, because we couldn't do enough damage to the fucking tentacles with 3 fire mages and a warlock.
So basically, we have to focus the synapses here, but because our DPS our range DPS downstairs kept pulling aggro on the psychophages because they kept DPSing them, you can see me constantly moving my Black Ox statue around, and the only reason I'm moving that around is so I can taunt them, so that when our DPS forget that we actually have to kill the exposed synapses, and they decide to take aggro off the psychophages instead, then I can taunt them. That's pretty much it, and at this point now, like, there's no more psychophages, but I still have my statue down because someone's going to take aggro off me from these psychophages.
Phil, I'd just like to correct you 1 second there. It's not the DPS, it was obviously healer aggro, as we were told
Yeah,
all throughout.
every single time, yeah.
Not that you and me are fucking blasting on those ads, but, you know, that holy shot crit on you, that's what gets all of them to go over there.
So we got into a good pace for this, and then just as everything was going really well, I'll go back there actually, because you can see, yes, at this point here, so we kill this tentacle, and normally he's just dropped the shit on the floor, and for the last 20 attempts we had to relearn this bit, and that's why we're killing this tentacle here on my right, which we'd never normally have killed, but because he hadn't dropped the shit on the floor yet, we were like, well, we've got to fucking stay here, and if we don't kill this, then he's going to drop the debuff. So we even though we're only supposed to kill him with 8, we end up killing him with 9 every time, just because for some reason our DPS got better.
Oh hey, Xeno died.
I think that was because that big tentacle
that's
didn't
like
die or something.
I fucking hated that Cycles phase, because if I'd go into it, I had like the same, like I'd always do the same thing, but sometimes I would just be fucking retarded and go in with less fury, so I just couldn't do my main damage combo, which meant that I would meta slightly later, and then it was a real fucking butt clench to get the meta for the immunity later on. Like, it was literally 2 or 3 seconds and I would get it.
Yeah.
And then there was that one time we were really close to killing it and I fucked it up, and then we wiped, and it was maybe like our 7th to last attempt, and I was like, oh, that's because I fucked up the Cycles phase.
Yeah. So we only use 1 neck after that. When we get into no, we use 3 necks. 3 necks to start with, but we only actually used 2 because they saved his as a backup. And here we used 3 necks to make sure everyone was at top full sanity. And basically after every time these cast their shit, we use 1 neck at a time because we need 11, I think, when we go down. These drops, this bit here, this whole bit, starting from here, was an absolute fucking shit show. Like, you can see, look, what is this? What's this fucking blank space here? What the fuck is that?
Mate, they're not done moving yet. give them 2 seconds to get in position.
Let's see. Right.
See, I'm right in the middle.
What the fuck is this area? What is that?
I'm kind of to the left of your where it says fucking, what even is that? Thought Harvester. I don't even know, on the right hand side. Like, I'm the person to the left of that. Look at that fucking massive gap.
Just give me 1 second.
Just to the left.
Look, right. I'm gonna get this up, okay? let's just have a look at this here. Let's just examine this. This is the group that we're supposed to be doing. Okay, this is where everyone is supposed to be. Now, the tank symbol because the tanks stack up. Now Xeno's over here because he's AMS'd it. Alright, so everyone should be grouped up like this. So in theory, that black area is where these mages and warlocks aren't. Let's have a look. Oops, shit, just close that down. Let's have a look. That's a... Who the fuck is that? I don't even fucking know.
What?
That's Ragnar. Ragnar? What the fuck is Ragnar doing here? Where the fuck is he meant to be? Look at that.
At the front. He's meant to be at the front. So
the front?
hang on. I'll send you this thing. So basically, I won't send it to you. I'll just explain. So when we first started progression on this, you created the template of where we should all stand, and then I, on all of them, circled which one should be Ragnar and which one should be me. So we always had the same spot to go to. Ragnar is the one in that one that should be at the front, and I'm the one that should be in the middle.
Oh, I see.
So he's completely out of fucking place.
so basically, he's decided, right, the front, where's that? Not.
But what's even better about that is if he's that far out, it's still like he's still someone that's putting someone into that space. So that space should actually be even more blank, but filled with people that are also in the wrong space.
I see. Right, so that person should actually be. So Faye should be behind me. He's right here. And then next to that, next to him should be the mages. Now I can see look, I'm pretty sure that's a fucking warlock there. I can see a warlock. Hunter and
shouldn't
Druid
be
is
anywhere
supposed
over
to be
there.
there. Supposed to be two people here, Hunter and Druid. Where the fuck are they? No, Ragnar's here. Okay. Right,
I'm
alright.
gonna crack out the replay of Arkill and figure this out.
Just can't. I mean, you know, we talked about this spread for so fucking long, and we still can't get it right, even on the kill. Like, I think pretty much everyone around here is in the right spot, and then everyone on the edges, no idea what they're fucking doing. So straight after this is going to be beam, so we all run to the very right, except I'm the only one I think who actually all runs all the way to the right. With one of the warriors. Oh no, he goes left. It's just me and Ronnie. Is that Ronnie or Ragnar?
I think it's
Ragnar.
that looks like Ragnar.
Yeah.
These weapons.
Okay, so then we drop again. We're going to go to the right. We're going to spread out for paranoia, and we actually got this spread. I think is really good. The biggest problem that people have with this spread is, and you'll hear it later on, when Rice starts shitting his pants. The biggest problem that people have with this spread is that they think they need all the sanity in the world. You don't. You need 35. That's all you need. As long as you've got 35 sanity when the paranoia ends, no one gives a shit. Okay? So this spread, really, really good. Barely anyone losing any sanity. We're about to get dragged. We've got a nice, decent drag. And
Make 2 lines.
you can see these people here, right here, let me just pause it there. These people right here can't be asked to move to the fucking right. But this group here, just like, yeah, they can fucking die. Fuck them. So,
There's a nice bunch up group on the far left-hand side of like Rice, Zulesh, Boars, Trez, Sneak, Hylul, and Gangpom. It's half the raid are stacked right next to each other on the left-hand side.
and no one goes to the right. No idea why. So first immunities, we had 2 Demon Hunters, 2 Mages, and a Paladin do this one. This one's meant to be the easy one, that's why we get the Demon Hunters to do it. Basically, when you pop meta, you've got an immunity for 1 second on the cast, but you can't do... What's that other immunity that you have?
Nether Walk, it doesn't work.
Yeah, Nether Walk doesn't work, yeah. You don't take the damage,
It just
but you do take the
means
70.
damage during that time. Yeah.
So that's why if you do have Demon Hunters in it, the only thing they can do is meta, so they have to save my DPS cooldown for this.
Now, if you put Demon Hunters into the second one, they can actually do damage on the boss, especially if they're going into the second Psychus. If they're not, then they don't really ever get to meta on the boss. So if you've got big DPS Demon Hunters, then and they're like your big boys,
See Ronnie
then just
here.
put them there.
This boy Ronnie just stood there doing can't hit anything. Just watch him. Just watch him. Can't hit anything. He's just standing there.
Yep.
He's in meta. Can't
Can't
hit
do
anything.
anything. And that was after I was like, hey, if you want me to do damage, I need to be closer to the boss during my 4-minute cooldown. That would be really great. And then it was like, yeah, just stand next to the mobs and you'll be able to hit them. And then on that one, I was like, oh, we're so close to killing this. If I splash, because in the previous one we had splashed on each other, you and me, and then I get hit by a beam. and I get hit by the beam because I tried to move away from your splash. So I was like, fuck it, play it safe. I even nether walk and take no damage for no reason.
So what am I looking at here? So this is our second immunities. We've got 2 mages, paladin, rogue, and hunter in there, and they're all the immunities that we have. I think we only came in with 10 immunities. There's all you need. Now this spread was the worst fucking spread that we've ever seen. Like, the only thing that you have to do is, if you're not doing an immunity, you have to go to the right of these ads, because that makes it easier to spread out. All the people that are in there, we've got 2 mages, a rogue, and a hunter who can all get to you pretty fucking quickly. 3 of those people can get to you instantly, but everyone shat their pants when they were linked to someone who had an immunity. So we've got people stood over here, which is the worst place that you want to stand. You want to be right over here.
I can tell you, specifically at the back, we have shaman and 2 mages, a boomkin, a disc priest, and then 2 of the fire mages are really far over to the left. But we also have 3 of the most immobile motherfuckers in the entire raid team of the warlocks right at the far back left.
What's so far back that you can't see them on my screen right now?
Yeah, they're out of the picture.
Brilliant. Okay, right, let's just turn this up.
Running into me, stop running into me.
Here we go. Rice is panicking here. Let's see how much sanity Rice has. He's got 60, okay? This is not
He's
a panic moment. 60
He's got
is fine.
about double.
Yeah, he needs 35. In fact, he doesn't need 35 because we've still got a neck to come before it. So actually, he only needs 10 sanity. He's got 60.
Oh, no.
Go nuts, go nuts.
You all have fine sanity.
Yeah, see, sneak
Chill
shots.
out.
Plus the
That's the photo.
our damage was fucking huge. Like, I don't know how we did so much damage actually. Like, I was expecting to come here and go to click on the gate and we'd be at 40.
Jump here!
Drop off the gate and
Run! We can't fire!
Like, normally at this point, we're about
Where is it?
41%, 41.5.
Mother, open the
So
gate
the
to
last couple of
chambers.
seconds, we're kind of trying to push it to 40, but for whatever reason, we just fucking blast.
follow.
It's what, 37?
Alright, here's the AFK to focus on.
Keep comms clear.
I still agree with Preach on this, that this phase must have just been designed because they were like, oh shit, we've got loads of necks left, what can we get people to waste them on?
Yeah, exactly.
But even then, after the amount of attempts we had, sanity really wasn't an issue. Like, Rice freaks out, but having that many necks wouldn't have meant anything anyway.
What's your feeling? Like, he's on 85 sanity right now. 80, he's got 50 sanity to play with. We could have soaked twice without immunities, and we'd have been absolutely fine.
Because I was meant to do the neck just before we go into this phase, but because Tay wasn't using his in the first set, then he always did this one. So I always thought I was kind of like a backup for in here if something really went wrong.
Make sure
I
you
never
do
had
all
to
of
use my neck.
Like,
Past like the
you
100th
just
attempt.
not using any losing any sanity here. Because the only things that we lose sanity to are, as soon as you get into this this phase, it's going to be the thought harvesters and fucking up the spreads for the paranoia. And even if you fuck up the spread for the paranoia, you're not going to lose that much sanity. This is intense. You can walk up on top of each other, find your partner, and still have enough sanity to actually move out of annihilate. But like, I feel like most people don't really get that it doesn't matter at all about the sanity. And this is up now.
It is a boring fucking
Press W and then click the gate.
As someone that wasn't assigned to do anything in this phase other than hit the boss, it just felt like an intermission. It could have just been a loading screen.
Oh, some people did mess up this bit, including myself and Zeno, for not really understanding how to do it. All you have to do is make sure that you're already walking, pressing W when you click the thing. You can't be in clicking the thing and then pressing W. But we soak this one, use a neck, and then it's the difficult movement phase into this bit. Get ready to drop on the left.
Jump here!
Volume on
We're
this.
charging the forge!
I think watching this bit originally in kill vids made it seem like things happen constantly, but it's kind of a period of it, and then you just blast the boss and dodge a beam.
I think
But
it's
that's
also
just really cool.
at the same time, it looks really easy when people are doing it, but actually it's a lot more challenging than we kind of anticipate, because getting to the right place, getting a good spread, and making sure that we have enough space for everything, it was just really fucking hard. I think like dropping that at the back was a fucking nightmare. It took us what 7, 8 on good attempts, 7 or 8 times before we could get that right, and we should really know what we're doing with it. I think.
This is ridiculous for how good our damage was, and we still get dragged to the back here. Like, if we were dragged to the front, the boss, like, it's stupid what damage we would have done.
I probably wouldn't have died. Right at the back. So I'm dropping at the back again because we need the space at the front. You can see these guys here trying to get as much damage out as they can, but dropping there is absolutely fine. It's far enough back that it's not going to affect us later on. And then we have another immunity here. Get in, get in. Can we just say anyone who's got one goes in?
Second pot.
Oh, this was a shit one, trying to meta that. And, like, yeah.
Oh, did you meta it?
Yeah, because my meta comes up here.
All right, I didn't know that.
So I was always ready to use it again, but this is what I mean of never really get to like meta into the boss because we do that and then immediately have to run away. So it was kind of shit.
For the spread.
But it killed the boss, so it's dead.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather that.
I don't even know how many people had their immunities up at that point, but the only people I know for sure are going to be Sneak, Daddy, and the Vors and Thunder. I think they're the only 4 who definitely had it up. I don't know if the rest did have it up or not.
Ragnar wouldn't have, because his were at different times to me. Oh, actually no, because he was also immuning the first. I don't know if he did.
Yeah, he did immune the first, yeah. If it's 4 minutes later, then probably everyone had it, but we had enough people in regardless. We just said everyone go in, and then it was fine. Just in case people died and shit like that as well. Oh, and this is
team was so good.
Mate, it's fucking horrible. Like, I was trying to run away from it. You can see I popped my my run speed there, and I still got hit by it because I just couldn't fucking do anything. Ragnar's back here chilling out on his own.
It's because he fell rushing to the left, thinking he'll like get away from it.
And
he just gets fucked.
I rolled as well. Like, you can, if I go back, you can watch me roll.
I paid attention to your advice of stand still, and it was fine. And it went to the left, and I just got to hit the boss the entire time.
So here, I'm just spending all my time making sure the ads are nowhere near anyone because we're about this cast here makes us go insane.
Your health in this bit is like fucking Gran Turismo. It gives me such heart attack watching your health.
One. Mate, I'm at what am I at? I'm at 5 stacks here. I'm about to go to 6, 7. And then this is where we just go for the kill. Blast everything.
We're just like, just kill it, just kill it.
So let me go back to this. So at this point here, these eyes spawn. Right. So the plan is everyone's stacked up with paranoia. Everyone's going insane anyway, so it doesn't matter. If the eyes spawns to your left, shit your pants, or stack up, pop tremor, pop spirit link, hope you don't die. If it spawns on top of you, you stand still and don't fucking panic because the beam won't spawn until it's to the right. And this was quite possibly the best beam we could have fucking got here because it's exactly where you want it to be. If it spawns on your left, you're just gonna fucking cry because you might not actually kill it, but you've literally got to save every single cooldown that you can there. Pop tremor and hope that no one fucking dies to the beam because we haven't got any space to move here. Not enough.
No, we would have been fucked. Been fucked. Can we appreciate your transcendence though? When I first watched that, I fucking screamed. I was like,
I was shitting my pants the whole time. I was watching it and like I could have purified a lot more, but I had. Let me just check my stagger at that point. This is it. So this is how many this red number here is how much my stagger ticks for per second. So right now I'm on 110k, 177k, 177k ticks per second. No, per half second. It ticks every half second. 177k every half second. That's what my stagger is at. It's absolutely ridiculous damage.
We had a lot of discussion about this point though, because we got to this phase or this part of the fight a few times, and there were talks about how Fu should just be able to run around infinitely tanking 4 mobs, and then it took Xeno to just be like, "Do you understand how hard they hit? Like Fu won't survive. There will come a point where he dies unless the healers are just healing him, but really they should be blasting the boss at the same time." And then we also had the greatest, like most unnecessary debate on Discord about whether we should SLT here or barrier or whatever, and it just seemed to go on for 2 or 3 days, and really the answer was just survive any fucking way possible. Whatever's left at this point, the boss is about to die.
Yeah,
use everything you've got.
And like, what we've got 4 seconds here before someone's going insane. Now, what we'd planned to do, which I don't think we could do, what we'd planned to do was have a mage die, res just before everyone went insane, and then ice block and hope the dots kill it. But we used all our reses, so we couldn't. We literally killed it with 1 second left.
It was big. But then that comes down to the like,
Fucking
it's the really small things that matter. Like getting that extra 0.5% in a phase.
Yeah.
On progression may just seem like you would always say, well, let's make it count. And sometimes it feels like you couldn't because of just like stupid RNG beams, or someone just dies to something really pointless. But having that tiny amount of extra damage meant that we could kill that. Like that would have been the saddest thing if we couldn't kill that because we didn't have a res.
Well, we got the one thing that meant that we did kill it, I think, at that point was we got 1 forward grab from the front to the back. We got 1 from the back to the front, and if we'd have had 2 from the back to the front, I don't think we might have been
bit boned.
We would have been relying on that res ice block for sure.
What I was gonna do is just get the execute damage up from the warriors, or from NECA specifically.
Execute damage,
because it's
drop me the link. Drop me the link, and I'll post it on here.
Just getting it up. Hang on. It's insane. In the last, like, as soon as we bloodlust, how much damage he does. So by comparison, Helheim is second and does 9.9% of the damage with 6 million. NECA does nearly 17% of the damage with 11 million.
11 million damage just from 20% onwards, or from just renewing bloodlust.
Like as soon as we bloodlust.
That's
so it's not even
bonkers.
There you go. Just
have a look at. Oh yeah, I've got it now.
It's just ridiculous.
Let's see. Ah yes, that's some pretty big dick damage. Let's see. I'll just cut off.
And if you look, execute, he executes as much damage as NECA does. As Helheim does, who's second. Like that's insane.
That is pretty bonkers.
Hey, look, we've got the biggest MVP that's just joined us, Grass.
Oh yeah,
huge on this fight.
He is pretty big.
Hello?
You can see him on the meters here.
Are you talking about the Zoth kill that we all had?
Yeah,
that one.
That one.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
It was really good. it was a good amount of progress. This shaman here.
Grass was so huge that he wasn't actually allowed into the raid team because we thought it'd be too easy with him. That was the issue.